evening, Dr. Powell. My name is William Dickerson. This is MBAP 501. This is my first of one discussion based on strategic planning for competitive advantage. Strategic planning, the managerial process of creating and maintaining a fit between the organization's objective and resources and evolving market opportunities. A goal is long-run profitability and growth. It addresses two questions. What is the organization's main activity at that particular time? How would it reach its goals? Many goals that many companies set up, goals a company sets up is things that's based in their mission, guidelines, facts, beliefs, parts of the culture. Those are things that are based in strategic planning. It's very important that all the company be on one accord with this in this phase that we're going through. Everybody from top management, middle management, level management, lower management should be on one accord with having the same type of mindset, same culture throughout the company in getting things accomplished. Future companies should follow the examples of previous companies such as Ford, J.B. Hunt, and many other companies that went through processes like this with strategic planning to get a competitive advantage against other companies. Some things that companies do to maintain a competitive advantage would be a furniture store that wants to get a competitive advantage against other furniture stores who all have showrooms. Well, this furniture store decided to open up a hotel, and in the hotel they served and profited by putting just their furniture in this hotel, where the people that were in the hotel, that visited the hotel, can have firsthand experience with the company's product, and if they liked it, they can actually buy it from the hotel. That was an excellent strategic move because it calculated on having two businesses at one time. There's a lot of businesses that own more than one business, and with that happening, they have different streams of income. Some of them have better streams than others. Some of them brings in opportunities for businesses that don't have strong income streams. Another example of a strategic competitive advantage would be the Ford Motor Company. As of right now, they have the pandemic going on. It's hard for them to sell cars because of certain chips that's in the vehicles. They cannot get in time to put in the vehicle. So they have millions of cars just sitting on lots, not doing anything. A company decides to leave certain programs alone if they're not good, to do other programs that are better. That's another part of strategic planning for a strategic business move. Companies may manage different businesses at certain times, and each company has its own rate of return on that investment. Some investments are faster than others. Some investments are slower than others. Some investments have no return on it at all. Distinct missions and certain specific targets and market control in these different businesses, and also different resources of companies, causes plans to change for certain individual companies. Single business units is very important when you have conglomerates that have major and different types of sources of income coming in. You might have one company that'll buy a business unit just because it has control of the business that they really care about. So they'll buy that business to have steady forms of income or steady business supplies coming in for their main business. That's called strategic alternatives. Market penetration is another important thing. Market development, market deception, product development, diversification. That's things we're going to talk about that went on in chapter 2. First thing, strategic alternatives. Strategic alternative would be one company that works and has competition in the same area. Well, the competition buys out the main supplier of their competition, and now they basically have control of the competition. That would be a strategic alternative because that other company didn't see that company coming. So instead of them controlling them in a bad way, they control them in a subtle way. Well, 9 times out of 10, they don't even know it until it's too late. Market penetration. Every company wants to know how much penetration they have in the market. How much do they have in the market? Do they have a good way of having capability of controlling the market? How can they control the market? What does their product do to the market? If they change something up with the market, will it be an uproar? Market development. Everybody wants to develop a good and certain sound product for the market. So they study developing of the market. They pay attention to that. That's basically marketing. 'Cause every company has a certain amount of people that study the value of the market, what happens with the market, different diversifications of the market, certain programs that can operate in the market. And with diversification, it's a good company that would diversify itself to not have all its eggs in one batch. And with that happening, all your eggs in one batch leads to failure. So divesting your company where you have more than one stream of income is a good thing. Innovation is always a good thing with marketing. New innovation calls for new careers, new outlooks, new industries. It's many things that can happen with innovation, adjacent innovation, and transformation adjacent innovation. Transformation innovation is when a company totally transforms its whole setup. Amazon went through a transformation innovation where when the internet came about and recently they have this pandemic came about, they transformed where they were the number one retailer outselling Walmart and many other box stores. So basically they don't have a box, but as of now they have transformed again and they have hubs in millions of different places where they can actually bring economies to systems and not also take away from systems, so they bring back into systems. There's also another thing called cash cows. And with a business having a single business unit, they can either have a cash cow or a dog. A cash cow is a company that brings in money. It has a high stream of income. A dog would be one that has low potential for growth and it has problems. Another thing is a problem child. And problem childs have poor margins and growth, rapid growth, but poor margins. Many marketing plans have good foundations. And the foundation is a very important thing in a marketing plan. It's the firm's mission statement. It's the SWOT analysis for a business, a marketing business. And with a SWOT analysis, you find out your competitive advantages. And it seems like I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to get to it. The elements of the marketing plan is the business mission statement, the situation awareness program, and the objectives. And with that marketing plan, you have to have the foundation of the mission statement. The mission statement brings about everything that the company is basically situated on, what the company's foundational beliefs are, what they believe can help that company, what's its strengths, what's its weaknesses, what's its objectives, and what's its tactical plans for the future. Objective wise, you should want to have a good leader. A good leader will have good objectives, and the objectives won't be passed all the way down to the lower management, but the upper management will know, and that will be a part of the foundation, and that's a part of that mission statement. Experience curves. Every marketing plan has an experience curve. There's the beginning, and that's the initial stage, and you have the product life high, and they have the decline, and they have the final phase out. And basically every company has a product life for all their businesses and all the marketing that they do. Environmental scanning is another thing we went over in this chapter. And environmental scanning is analyzing the aspects of the marketing environment. You might be in an environment that was destroyed by the pandemic and you can't sell anything. And you might be in an environment where, like with many restaurants, they can't find workers, so they're desperate. So with a plan like that, you would have to have a marketing plan. You would have to learn how to adapt. You would have to learn how to market your plan around your mission and your foundation and your core beliefs of that business. Because if you can't do it that way, you're planning to fail. Another thing we would have to worry about is the labor market. And basically with the pandemic, it's a lot of labor loss. A lot of companies laid off all their workers and none of their workers came back. It's a major problem for a lot of corporations in America. I don't think they're going to ever solve it that way. They're going to have to become another initiative to do greater things. Another thing we have is no frills in goods and services. Marketers can lower the cost by remaining even keel, no frills, no options other than what they deal with. Government subsidies. A lot of companies have government subsidies that would help them, especially in the pandemic. The government subsidies help companies do great. Product design, cutting edge technology can help offset high labor costs, followed with marketing plans, great marketing plans, such as comprehensive marketing plans, systematic marketing plans, independent marketing plans, periodic marketing plans, implementation of these certain type of marketing plans, and post-audit task force, where you go back and you check and make sure everything is what it is. A lot of companies can learn from post-audit tasks because you can find out what your strengths are and also you can find out what your weaknesses is. And a lot of companies we notice don't like to go over their weaknesses because I guess it's failure. But failure, sometimes acknowledgement of the failures is a good thing because you can learn actually what you made a mistake at and what you did to make that mistake and how you can correct that mistake. I think also with marketing that I learned from this chapter with marketing is a good foundation is the most important thing you can have with marketing. If your foundation is not solid based on your mission statement, based on the beliefs in your mission statement, based on the core values of that company, you really won't be marketing to the base that you have. And I believe a lot of companies need to stay with the base that they have and stay with the know that they know and not the stranger that they don't have. Thank you very much. I think you should continue to try to learn as much as you can possibly through marketing. I think for a company, the base of knowledge comes from the foundation that they have. Many past companies that had failures tried to reinvent themselves on the fly. I think it's good to reinvent yourself every now and then, but it's good to stick with the tech that got you there, the grit, the personal beliefs. I think also companies should go inside themselves and reevaluate themselves from the ground up, starting from the lower levels. I think upper management should come from the ground floor. I don't believe in companies hiring people just because they are C-suite or HR C-suite people. I believe they should hire people that came from the ground up, especially if you're a company like a service company that did construction work. I wouldn't hire a CEO unless he had major facts and plans. Also, I would have him work with the grunts of the company to make sure he understands the importance of certain things, because many companies were built by people that did the lower work and they got to a point where they got a bigger place in time. I believe companies should push and work hard into working and making their companies better for the people that work there, also for the people that buy the products. And that with marketing is the most important thing. You cannot market a product to a person that doesn't receive the marketing scheme. And I believe all marketing people have it in them to study, especially nowadays with social media. They study marketing tactics and strategic planning by studying people and what they buy and what they like and what they don't like, what triggers them. And it's more important now due to the pandemic because a lot of people have time that they didn't have on their hands. And it's easy for a business to either become almost a fad or become almost extinct. And with that being said, a lot of companies' product life cycle grows extremely faster than it usually would before. I think this is a good thing because companies can, like I say, reinvent themselves tremendously, and it really won't cost them a lot. But it's a dangerous, slippery slope because these companies can also create major failures and it's major risk involved. So basically, mission statements are very important. The foundation of your mission is very important. The purpose of your mission is very important. And these things are very important to the company. And also, it's many other things, but with the foundation being the mission statement, you have to have that correct mission statement. You have to have that correct foundation. And I believe also that many companies fail due to the fact that they forget who they are. They forget what made them who they are and what they attempt to be. And it becomes a money grab. And when you start counting money before you count what brought you there in the vehicle that brings you there, you'll run out of air for your tires and you will not be able to move. It's many other companies that are examples of this right now. And one is Tesla. And Elon Musk is a man that really loves hearing himself talk. And with that, he causes his company a lot of problems. He markets himself as a snake oil salesman, and I'm not going to go into details with it. But you can see basically when a company has a CEO that runs off his own foundation and moral principles and whatever he has planned, and he doesn't think about the company when he opens his mouth. So that's another thing with marketing. You have to vet the people that work for you or the people that are the CEOs because it's very important. Because their agenda might not match the business's plan, the business model of what you have for that company or what the company expects for itself. I believe that's very important because many companies, they don't explain it to the top. The top level management does not explain it to the lower management, and middle management misses the message, and it gets lost within the supervisors of the lower operational level. I believe all levels of management should be on one accord, not knowing it all, but having a gist of what it is that makes their job what it is and how important their job is. Everybody in management should know how their jobs gel and collect together. Without that, you have no foundation. Without mission statements, you have no management. Without management, you have no team. And all these things work together. They all gel together with organizational goals and challenges to do better. Basically, the foundation of any marketing plan is in the firm's mission statement. Mainly, businesses use a SWOT analysis when it comes to their mission statement. You should always study your strengths, your weaknesses, your objectives, and your tactical plans when you're dealing with a marketing plan. I believe if most companies used a SWOT analysis when dealing with marketing, they would be in a better position. Because with the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and tactics plan set, you can know your advantages in the market. You can know your advantages in the industry and what advantages that you use to take over certain parts of the industry that you need. I believe that your strengths can be manifested through that SWOT analysis, but also you can acknowledge your weaknesses. And with acknowledging your weaknesses, you can know which way to stay away from when dealing with your competition. Because in this business world, people adapt on the fly. And some companies adapt on the fly towards their mission statement, and some companies adapt towards other objectives. It depends on the management and upper level management and what their objective is and what their goals are. Environmental scanning, I come again and talked about that earlier in this presentation, but environmental scanning is very important. Environmental scanning basically explains in certain situations what's going on with other companies that are in the same area. Prime example of environmental scanning right now would be automobile companies. Every automobile company has the same problem right now. Maybe ones like Tesla might not have the problem because their problem is a different type of problem. But every company like Ford, GM, Dodge, they have the same problem. They have many vehicles that are put together, but they don't have a certain type of chip to make that vehicle computer operate. So they have millions of vehicles sitting in yards that are not operable. And they're on their books and they're paying inventory taxes, and it's really a liability for their companies. So strategic planning, environmental scanning would be to find out a way to win in a situation where you're destined to lose. The pandemic threw a curveball in every operation of business in this country, in every industry, in every facet of life. It brought it to a grinding halt. Another thing can be explained in environmental scanning is how and why people handle situations they did out of desperation or out of not thinking what the situation would have been any further. They just took advantage of whatever it was to make themselves more comfortable. A lot of restaurant companies fired their workers without explaining what would happen, not giving them a call. And 2 years later, they called them back saying, come back to work, and these people are not coming back to work. And now they're losing business terribly. And you see a lot of companies doing things such as offering a bonus to come to work, offering their workers a vehicle, brand new vehicle, many different type of things they're offering their businesses. Their business is offering these people to help them, want them to be there for them. I don't believe in that. I think they should just be honest and sincere with these people. I think they have lost their workers. I believe they should have kept their workers at a minimum salary and said, we ride with you, we die with you. And people respect honesty. I don't think they're going to ever get their workers back. A lot of these businesses are going to fail. A lot of these businesses are going to go out of business because a lot of the youth that they're dependent on to work these menial jobs and pay will not work for them. They will go somewhere else. They will start other type of things. Many of these people are ingenuitive and entrepreneurs type spirit people. They will start their own jobs. So I don't think a lot of these companies are going to come back. And I think a lot of them use this as propaganda. And I don't really believe the hype with them on their plan. And I think they're suffering because in their foundation, it wasn't that in the mission statement to just misincorporate your labor like that. So they're having labor problems, which was explained in this chapter also. With the onset of labor problems, you don't have the labor to keep up with the demand, and it has caused a major problem for many of these companies. And a lot of these companies are suffering, and I think the suffering will continue. And it's a lot of other things with it. We could ramble on forever, but I will cut it short, and I won't go over my minute mark. But basically, it's a lot of situational awareness. It's a lot of plans that went through that didn't go the way they thought they would, and it's a bunch of different things that can help a company or destroy a company. And strategic planning, mission statements, marketing plans is very important. They all coexist with one another. I believe if you keep these all together and you make them the foundation of your company, you should have success. And that's basically what I got from this lesson. I believe this lesson was a good lesson. It helped and it coexists with the previous lessons, and it working its way into the lessons that's coming forward. Because the foundation of marketing starts with the mission statement. It starts with the SWOT analysis, and many businesses follow this model, and the ones that are successful follow it to the T. It's a part of their culture, and it's embedded in all their employees. The employees that work for them, the employees that deal with the company, the employees that deal with the customers. Even if they're not dealing in customer service, they know the foundation of that mission statement. They know the mission, they know the purpose of the mission. And that experience helps these companies. It makes them a better company to work for. It makes them pliable. It makes them reliable. And better all, it believes and it gives them better customer service. Thank you very much.